Welcome to Fall 2013. I'm Amy Reardon, Vice President of Marketing, and I'm thrilled to be able to share with you some of my very essential musts from the Doncaster Fall collection. I'm what one would call a fashion enthusiast, something I think we can all identify with. I have a penchant for glamorous or striking items that I then balance with a subtle or classic hand. Fall is my favorite fashion season. I identify and embrace the exquisite fabrics, fall in love with the dramatic design, and truly appreciate the quality and execution of the garments. For me, the romance of elevated dressing is at its peak in fall. The luxurious hand of fabulous cashmere, the lure of foiled leather. I could keep going, but we should get into my very real and very personal selections for the season. But before I dive right in, I should share with you a little bit about how I personally approach what I consider to be my biggest buying season. I still have 2 small children at home, so I can't do as much damage as I would like to. Rather, I very thoughtfully review what it is I need to replenish, such as a white shirt, black pants, black turtleneck, neutral pencil skirt, and then I go for what I know will be my fashion pieces for years to come that will reflect my personal style. Luckily, I piled on the basics last year, so this season it is all about fashion. When our gold-foiled suede skirt arrived in the New York offices, I almost fell over. I knew I had to have it. Some people were very surprised that I went directly for this item, as I have a tendency to shy away from metallics. It just goes to show you never know what is going to get someone excited. I envisioned this gold skirt with a chunky black sweater and boots, and then my mind wandered to a white, crisp shirt layered under a black V-neck, and then all the way back to a black charmeuse blouse. I knew I could make this piece mine tomorrow, and that I could make it look fresh, elegant, bold, and modern for years to come. Next, our reptile stretch jacquard pant, another surprising choice for me. I gravitated toward these not just because printed and patterned pants are an essential fashion item right now, but because I thought these were exceptionally interpreted. I loved the subtle pattern of the pant, and it was made more sophisticated by the color combination. I knew right away these could go from day to night with very little effort, and that they didn't say trendy, they said timely. And they were very much something that I could see myself in long after everyone else has stopped talking about the printed pant. This pick was no surprise, our layered chiffon blouse. It is feminine, a neutral, and there's a key element that makes it very individual, the split panel at front. It makes it feel novel but timeless at the same time. The chiffon makes it feel romantic, while the design makes it a little edgy with its play on the levels of opacity. I could take this to the office or back to denim without blinking an eye. Cashmere. It's essential in the fall. This particular cashmere crew in this fabulous shade of dill struck my eye. It was purely emotional, the color made me happy, and I thought it would pop against my blacks, work against navy, and brighten up my charcoals. The whisper weight is great for transition, and the color was pretty and poppy enough to wear into the spring, which made the value of it that much more apparent. I also pictured it on the weekends back to white and chino with a great driving moccasin and gauzy scarf as I ran around with my kids. So technically, this is replenishment. I have a trench, but it isn't quite this cool. So maybe it's more of an upgrade and not quite a replacement. I have a real appreciation for Italian fabrics. When I hear Italian, what I really hear is quality, longevity, and craftsmanship. I don't think that I'm alone in this. The origin conjures the romantic notion of time-honored tradition with regard to the approach and care taken to create the fabric. A sentiment that I believe many of our most avid Doncaster clients feel when our name is said. Now to the coat. I happen to love a drop shoulder. For me, it makes the item a little less tailored and a bit more modern. I also love that this trench looked just as good without a belt as it did with it. Finally, the all-over vegan trim really gave this coat that little extra push over the edge. Vegan leather is simply a term for engineered leather or faux. As the technology of creating synthetics becomes more sophisticated, so does the audience who appreciates and buys it, and therefore the terminology must evolve, and thus vegan leather. Now back to that trim. It defines the lines of the trench but doesn't go overboard. It simply enhances and calls out the shape of the coat without overpowering the clean aesthetic of the garment. I feel for me this coat would be perfect for early to mid-fall and then back again come spring. What more could I ask for? I hope you've enjoyed seeing what I'll be wearing this fall. You never know, you may have a client just like me walk into your show. I would like to also take this opportunity to thank all of you that have so beautifully represented Doncaster. I would also like to say welcome to those of you who are starting with Doncaster this season. I wish you all the best for fall, great success, a lot of fun, and closets filled with Doncaster.